This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. Here he is. Bitcoin just crossed back over 100,000 figures.
Anytime I'm on the show, man, that's the kind of impact I make.
I tell you, you are the boss right here, baby. The boss. The boss. Did you have any doubt it was going over 100,000?
Did not. I know that for some reason, every time I hook up with you on Fridays, I have this kind of an impact. It's an instant impact. I'm kind of like that big NIL signing that every college football team wants.
And throughout all the years so far, you still never bought any.
Still have not played the game, brother. I'm so busy with everything else in life. Oh, I know I'm not good with money, man. I'm not. And I let my wife handle most of the bills. I just give her the paychecks and she handles it all, man.
Suggestion.
Yes.
Swan.com. Super easy to open the account. In 5 minutes, you open an account. You can set a buy once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, something manageable. Just put it there, bro. And don't even think about it.
Yeah, it's gonna.
And it's only gonna grow. Okay. When it was 16,000, I told people, bro, it'll be 100,000. They didn't believe me. It'll be 250 June 30th of 2025. It'll be 1.5 million 2030. Okay. The smartest, richest, most powerful people in the world are gobbling this shit up like Pac-Man. I'm just saying, whatever's manageable for you. $5, $10, 50, 500. Big timer like you could probably buy like 1,000 a week, but just whatever is, man. I'm telling you, it multiplies like rabbits. You're gonna remember me, bro. I
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You're gonna have something really extra to leave your kids.
That's what I want.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've lived most of our lives, so it's like it's really about them. That's kind of what I'm doing. That's how I'm collecting. But I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. All right. So, are they throwing out anybody on the Canes coaching staff? Are they throwing out any bad habits? What's the assessment after a season that, there's 10 wins, but you walk away unsatisfied? It looks like it's an empty 10 wins.
Yeah, we could talk about the season in a moment, but getting to the coordinators and the coaches, look, I think they're kind of in a weird state, right? Because your offensive coordinator is trying to get a head coaching job, right? He's trying to get hired by somebody else. He's definitely making that effort. He's doing interviews. And then your defensive coordinator, who was hot a year ago, right? We thought LSU might come and take him. Now nobody wants him. And so Mario is if you followed it with me here, for a long time. Mario takes his sweet ass time in making decisions.
Yes.
You think back to a couple of years ago, and the offensive coordinator who he fired took a long time to get to that point to do that. And so I think, with Lance Guidry, it's more about who do you replace him with, and is there a better option out there? Is there a guy who is going to come on, available to you, right? Available to you. That's the thing. Is there better options?
You'd be a better option than Lance Guidry. What the hell are you talking about? Anybody listening to us might be a better option than Lance Guidry right now. It shouldn't be that difficult to find somebody better than Lance Guidry that you can even save money on, by the way. I don't know. Wow.
Yeah, I just think with this, it makes sense to make the change, right? But I've heard so many conflicting reports. I've had a lot of people who give money to the program say to me, he's absolutely going to change the coordinator. And then I've had people who know Mario closely who are like, he's not going to do it. So I'm hearing conflicting signs. To me, I always sit back and I let all the noise play out, and I just look at it from common sense perspective. I think a change has to be made. I think the defense took too far of a step back. So I think it will inevitably happen. Will it happen tomorrow? Is he going to go out and hire the best defensive coordinator out there and spend $4 million to bring him in here? No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to be probably waiting a while before a change happens.
By the way, it's absolutely unrealistic to think, if anybody's going to think it, or if you haven't even thought about it, the next quarterback may not be the eraser that this guy was.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Because while this guy will take some crazy ass chances at times, there's no doubt he has balls of steel and he just does shit that helps you win games and makes up for your deficiencies at times. And that's not every college quarterback that is like that, or any NFL quarterback. So the next guy, if you play this kind of defense, there's no shot you win 10 games next year, even in a weak conference.
There's no doubt. You have to, let's not forget that Miami had the number one ranked offense in the country. And not only the number one ranked offense in the country, but they did things. If you look at year by year results, I think I saw this stat a little while ago. I think they had 10 500-yard games. There's only one other team I think that's done that in the last 10 years. That was that LSU team that with Joe Burrow that won the national championship. So if you're looking at a production and points standpoint, yes, you went 10-2 with an unbelievable offense, and that guy is not going to be duplicated. There's nobody in the transfer portal that is going to give you the amount of experience, the amount of swagger. We can sit here and talk about quarterbacks and who's available right now, but I'm telling you, I handle the transfer portal for The Athletic, me and a couple of my colleagues, and we study this stuff and analyze. There's nobody out there like that right now. Could somebody enter? Could somebody enter before Monday? Absolutely. Somebody could enter on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It all depends. And God knows there's enough tampering going on in college football right now that those conversations are taking place at the moment. But is there anybody as good as Cam Ward out there? My answer to you is no.
Okay, so out of curiosity, Mario's coaching the first 2 years was kind of questionable. This year had a big moment that was very questionable. Plus, there are no quality wins. So I'm just spitballing here. I'm just wondering, you had a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. You couldn't win this conference. You couldn't even get into the ACC championship game as it is. Right. You're not even in the playoffs. Okay. Did Mario and the Canes hurt themselves on the recruiting trail, on the NIL trail, for the next guy that when he thinks, okay, there's a couple of schools, Miami's but wait a minute, those guys don't maximize what they have over here, they will? Or is it simply about the NIL money, and if Miami pays, they'll get the guy, so don't worry about the shortcomings or the overall results that they're getting with what they have? Because I'm looking at it, I'm going, dude, you had how are you not in the ACC championship game? How are you not one of the top 12 teams in the country with that guy at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, it was a golden opportunity missed. There's no question. And you look at what happened on National Signing Day earlier this week. They finished 14th, so it's not up to Mario's standard of top 10 recruiting classes in terms of depth. They lost some guys at the end, including a 4-star linebacker who obviously got a lot of money to go to Oregon, but also is going to a better program right now, a program that's number one in the country and has a chance to win a national championship. So
better coach. Better coach.
Right now, yes, Dan Lanning has proven to be the better coach. So you can't argue those points. But I will say this. I think money is still the biggest factor in anything. To answer your question, do I think blowing this opportunity affects Miami? Yes, I think it did for Gavin Nix. I think he looked at the way that defense played. He heard the rumors about them firing the defensive coordinator, and he said, you know what? I'm going to go play for Oregon because they might be in the national championship this year, and they've got
abilities there. They know he knows what's coming back next year. You have no idea what's going to happen next year in Miami, and so you may not like the defensive coordinator. You may not like the way he coaches. So yeah,
no, but to answer your question, Miami will remain a factor for a lot of really good players. Okay, most people would have thought there's no way they land Cam Ward, right? When you look at Mario's track record with quarterbacks, offenses in general, before Cam Ward decided I'm going to Miami, Miami didn't have something to sell him. What did they sell him on? A lot of money and the opportunity to come showcase himself as the man. and they let him showcase himself as a man. So I think other quarterbacks, we talk about, can they find another great quarterback? Maybe not to Cam's level, but I think they could attract them based on what they did this year. Defensively, though, I think this year hurt them, and I think it hurt them with certain elite players that they wanted to get. This is the way college football is going to work year to year to year. You are going to have everybody watching every result, every sort of evolving moment, and making decisions based not only on money, but then also, well, what is this coach doing? Is he firing his staff? Is he changing people? So all of those things play a role. It's not what it used to be. For years, it was real simple. When you didn't have college football free agency, it was simple. It was just the money, right? It was just how good is that program. Now it's a little bit more of a complicated issue because money is a much more important factor because everybody can pay now. Everybody can go to the bank account and overspend for a player. So I will say this. I think Miami realized through the recruiting process that the issues that they have on defense are not going to be fixed by freshmen. So when Florida and Oregon came in with ball-busting offers to take two of their best recruits, I think Miami looked at the situation and said, we are not going to overspend. We would rather spend it on guys that can come in here and help us immediately because that's more of an immediate need than just a long-term fix.
Okay, I'm with you there. By the way, you can visit our friends at Caneswear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Even if you don't live here in South Florida, you can go online at caneswear.com. If you order over $99, you will get free shipping. And whether you're live or online, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. They've got anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. They've got InterMiami gear. They've got Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Marlins, Panthers. So check it out. Go to Miami Fanwear at Caneswear at Miami Fanwear and check it out there. All right. So overall conversation for the ACC, since you're well connected, what is the conference going to do? Because see, here's the problem that I kind of laugh at is that the people in the ACC and the Big 12, they kind of feel insulted. And then they think there's some narrative going on that's being built up that, well, the SEC and the Big 10, everybody's talking about them like they're better, and they're really not. No, they are better. Overall, the conferences are better. The teams are better. They spend more money. They've got the better deals. We understand all of that. But in the end, the conferences are better. You are not better at the Big 12. You're certainly not better in the ACC. So, yes, you're going to be looked at like the redheaded stepchild. So, ACC and commissioner and everybody else, what are you going to do about your conference? What are you going to do about Clemson, about Miami, about Florida State, about all these teams have to elevate their game, elevate their program, talent-wise, have the kind of success so when you do cross over and play those games regular season, you're beating them. When you face them in in bowl games, you're beating them. And then that way you could start to get that respect back. But is it the NIL stuff? Is it the money that's in the Big 10 and the SEC will not allow them to lose that stranglehold that apparently some people in the ACC and Big 12 don't understand they have?
Yeah, I'm very interested to talk to Jim Phillips. I just got to Charlotte now. I'll be here for the next 48 hours. I'm very interested to talk to some ACC people and get some ideas of what they can do. Honestly, my explanation to people is real simple. Whether or not on the field you believe that the Big 10 and the SEC are better than the ACC. And again, they have better track records. They put more guys in the NFL. I mean, they've won more championships. There's a lot of reasons to validate why those programs on the field are better. The reality is what college football has done has turned this into a television extravaganza, okay? And the reason it is the Big 10 SEC Invitational, and that's why I've been calling it that since last year with the 12-team playoff is the TV ratings. The bottom line, you go to sportsmediawatch.com, click on the college football TV ratings for week 14. Okay. Where do you think Miami-Syracuse, important game, where do you think that ranks?
Oh God, it must have been low compared to some of those Georgia, Alabama games and Michigan, Ohio State and stuff like that. I would imagine you're talking about
11th.
like overall, right? You're talking about overall? Yeah,
Overall.
yeah, probably.
11th. 2.11 million viewers. That's their best team in the ACC. Michigan, Ohio State had 12 million viewers.
Right.
Texas A&M had 9.5 million. Georgia Tech, 8.5 million. That's not because of Georgia Tech. That's because of Georgia.
Right.
Auburn, Alabama, 7 million. Mississippi State, Mississippi. Who gave a damn about that game? Had no playoff implications whatsoever. 4.3 million. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Tennessee's in. 3.6 million. Nebraska, Iowa, 3.6 million. Again, two teams that have nothing to do with the playoff. The bottom line is the ACC and the Big 12 are viewed as stepchildren.
I know.
Country. And it's not just there's too many Miami fans that are walking around with this thought in the back of their mind that they won 5 national championships and that people still give a shit about Miami.
Right.
They don't.
No, they don't. I know.
They're irrelevant. They
Yes.
had an opportunity to be relevant, and they are irrelevant because they couldn't protect the 21-point lead against Syracuse.
Miami has been a middling team, a middling program for nearly 20 years now, is what they've become. A middling program. That's all they are.
And in the end, what do TV executives care about? Oh,
ratings, money. Who's going to drive?
Are you going to put?
I can get better sponsors on to pay for those TV rights. I get it.
Are you going to put Alabama, who's won 6 or 7 national championships, even without Nick Saban, and they draw 7 million for Auburn, Alabama, instead of 2.1 million? They outdraw your teams by over 5 million viewers. Are you going to invite Miami or are you going to invite Alabama?
Hey, all I tell you is Alabama plays Miami next week. Who you betting on? Straight up. Come on,
Most people would take Alabama.
Of course. That's where that argument ends, and you can just talk about it. In the end, they beat ranked teams. Miami didn't, and that's all. And so to me, and then the money and then all of that. So how can the ACC or Big 12 counter? Like, I don't know.
At this point,
go out of your way to get the best coaches so you could start to win on the field and try to get it done, or is it that
I think it's over
and the best players because of all the money?
I think it's over. I think that it's a no contest at this point because the Big Ten and the SEC have the keys, and they don't have to let anybody into the club. And if you look at the negotiations last year, people were talking about, well, they're expanding to 12 teams. What if they go to 14, right? They're going to expand the playoffs. The Big Ten and the SEC basically said, well, guys, listen, we'll take our top 4 each, and the ACC, you guys get 2 in. And that was their concession. You guys get 2 in. And the ACC and Big 12 were like, nah, I don't know if we really like that deal. I'm thinking you better take that opportunity or it's going to end up like it does this year, which is if SMU loses this game, by the way, do you think they're getting in? Or do you think Ole Miss or South Carolina is going to take their spot?
Yeah. I can see that. Yes, for sure. They're draws. Nobody gives a shit about SMU. This isn't the Pony Express, bro. No, listen, nobody.
You had the top 100 high school recruits. This is a good stat for you. No 5 stars. No, 0 5 stars. And there's over 35 or whatever, 36 5 stars this year. No 5 stars signed with anybody from the ACC or the Big 12. They were all SEC or Big 10. So all of the biggest football stars are signing with those 2 conferences. And then you look at the top 100 recruits, 7 to the ACC and 2 to the Big 12. Everybody else, Notre Dame, Big 10, SEC. It's over. It's a no contest. There is no coming back from this.
So what does Miami do?
Miami's got to get their shit together. They've got to start winning, and they've got to sell themselves so that when
we got to get back to the days of the Big Least, where they were the monster and the conference was shit.
You have to win this. You have to win this conference every single year. They have to dominate. And now, look, Dabo Swinney. I mean, look, I know they made it to the championship game this year, the conference championship game, but they signed, I think, the 26th best recruiting class. He doesn't use the transfer portal.
Right.
FSU is in a huge mess. 2-10. I mean, their program is completely upside down. Coming off of a championship season.
Florida's the one that's looking better at the end of the year now.
Who's that?
Florida's the one that's looking better.
But I'm talking about the ACC. I'm talking about winning this conference every year.
Right, yeah.
It's your competition now might just be SMU. I mean, Clemson will still be there, but they're not the old Clemson. So my point is, Miami has to turn into the old Miami who dominated the Big East every single year. And when the new TV contract comes up and the Big Ten is upset that the SEC is still winning the national championship every year, you hope to God the Big Ten says, you know what, Miami? Come on in. We need a team in the state of Florida. We want you, the private academic school who fits our standards, to come in and be a part of the Big Ten. Welcome to the club. And now you're in the club and you don't worry about that anymore. But that is ultimately their only play in my book.
Right. And they still can't make that play till a few more years until they could get out of that contract.
Yeah, 2029. And then by then, the ACC contract, 2032, you can come up with the money to buy yourself out of that and break even. But the point is,
but you have to do your part first on the field. You just can't buy. They're not going to allow you to buy your way in only. You're going to have
you got to dominate this conference.
Right. Yeah.
If it's you and SMU every single year for the next 6 or 7 years, or 5 years, because we're already in 2025. Right. But if it's you and SMU for the next 4 to 5 years, and you guys each go 11-1, 12-0, and win the conference, then maybe both of you get an invite to come join the Big Ten. But they have to be one of those two teams. They have to be one of those two teams.
Oh, it's crazy shit. All right. What are you working on the athletics so folks can check you out, my man?
Oh, what am I not working on? I just came out with my national recruiting thoughts on early signing day. Came out today. That was published. The transfer portal is about to get super busy. We're going to have a QB tracker that people can follow. So, ton of stuff. It's like wondering what's going on. All of a sudden, I have this advertisement playing on my screen. I apologize.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
And a new Wide Right podcast. I recorded that last night as well. So if you want to hear me talk more about UM, you can check that out.
All right, there you go. And follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And of course, check out our friends at caneswear.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.